The alien princess was fading until my elixir brought her back to life. Part 1. The distress signal came at 3 in the morning. Ship time. Dr. Nathan Cole was half asleep in his small lab when the alarm pulled him back to the world. Red lights flashed on the walls. The ship shook as it changed direction. Nathan grabbed his jacket and ran to the bridge. Captain Lisa Morgan stood at the main screen, her face hard and focused. Around her, the crew worked fast at their stations. "What do we have?" Nathan asked. "Solani vessel," Lisa said without looking at him. "Royal class. They're asking for help." Nathan felt his chest tighten. The Solani were one of the oldest races in the galaxy. They had built empires when humans were still living in caves. They did not ask for help. They gave orders. What kind of help? Nathan asked. Lisa finally turned to look at him. Her eyes were tired but sharp. "Medical. Someone important is dying, and their doctors cannot save them." Jake Brennan, the ship's engineer, walked up beside Nathan. He was a big man with rough hands and a quick smile, but he was not smiling now. "The Solani asking humans for medical help," Jake said quietly. "That is like asking a child to fix a starship." "Maybe," Nathan said. "Or maybe they have tried everything else." The Horizon's Edge was a small exploration vessel. It had a crew of 42 people. They were not soldiers or diplomats. They were scientists and engineers sent to map new systems and study alien life. Nathan was the ship's xenobiologist. He studied alien creatures and their bodies. He also served as the backup medic when needed. The main screen showed the Solani ship growing larger as they got close. It was beautiful in a cold way. Silver and white metal curved like flowing water. Lights moved along its surface in patterns that meant nothing to human eyes. A message came through. The voice was clear but strange, like music turned into words. "Human vessel. We accept your approach. One of your medical personnel may board. Only one. Time is short." Lisa looked at Nathan. "You are the only one who knows anything about alien biology." Nathan nodded. He had spent 15 years studying how different species worked. He had written papers on alien cell structures. He had treated sick creatures on dozens of worlds. But he had never touched a Solani. No human had. They kept themselves separate from the younger races. "I will go," Nathan said. Jake grabbed his arm. "Nate, think about this. If something goes wrong over there, we cannot help you. We cannot even get you back." "I know," Nathan said. "But someone is dying. That is the only thing that matters right now." 20 minutes later, Nathan stood in the airlock with a bag of medical tools. The door opened, and cold air washed over him. A bridge of light connected the two ships. He walked across it, trying not to look down at the empty space below. The inside of the Solani ship was nothing like he expected. It was warm and soft, with walls that seemed to breathe. The light came from everywhere and nowhere. It made him feel like he was inside a living thing. A tall figure waited for him. The Solani was almost 8 feet tall, thin as a tree branch, with skin that looked like pale blue glass. Its eyes were large and dark, without any white. It wore robes of silver that moved on their own. "I am High Counselor Drenvok," the Solani said. Its voice was cold. "You are the human healer." "I am Dr. Nathan Cole," Nathan said. "I will do what I can." Drenvok made a sound that might have been a laugh. "What you can? Yes. We shall see what a creature from a death world can do." Nathan did not answer. He had heard this before. Earth was a death world to most aliens. Too much gravity. Too many predators. Too many diseases. Humans were seen as tough, but simple. Good at surviving, bad at everything else. Dren, single quotes VOK, led him through long hallways. Other Solani watched from doorways. Their faces showed nothing. but Nathan could feel their doubt, their judgment. To them, he was an animal walking through a palace. They reached a large door. It opened without sound. Inside, the room was darker. Machines hummed softly. Medical equipment covered the walls. Far more advanced than anything on Nathan's ship. And in the center, on a bed of white light, lay the princess. Nathan stopped breathing for a moment. Valari Thalaran was beautiful, even now. Her skin was the same pale blue as the others, but it was wrong. It flickered. It faded in and out like a bad signal. He could see through parts of her. She was disappearing. The fading, Drenvok said from behind him. A disease from ancient times. It kills by taking apart the cells one by one. Our medicine has no answer. Nathan walked closer. The princess's eyes were closed. Her chest moved slowly. Each breath looked like it hurt. How long does she have? Nathan asked. Hours, perhaps less. Nathan opened his bag and took out his scanner. It was a simple device compared to Silani technology, but it was made for human hands and human thinking. He ran the scanner over the princess. The readings made his heart beat faster. Her cells were falling apart from the inside. It was like watching a building collapse in slow motion. But there was something familiar about it. Something he had seen before. This is like oxidative stress, Nathan said quietly. What? Drenvok asked. On Earth, our cells can be damaged by certain chemicals. We have ways to repair this damage. Natural ways that our bodies developed over millions of years. Nathan looked at the data again. The princess has these repair systems in her cells. But they are turned off, sleeping. That is impossible. We removed such primitive functions from our species long ago. They were unnecessary. Nathan shook his head. Not from her. The princess has old blood. Ancient blood. The functions are still there. They just need to be woken up. He looked at Valari's fading face. Hours to live. Maybe less. I think I can help her, Nathan said. But I need to go back to my ship. I need to make something. Drenvok stepped closer. Make what? Nathan met the alien's cold eyes. Something my people call an elixir. A healing drink. It will not cure her, but it might give her cells the push they need to save themselves. The counselor's face twisted with something that looked like disgust. A drink. You want to save the heir to our empire with a human drink? Yes, Nathan said simply. I do. He looked back at the princess one more time. She was dying. She was fading. But somewhere inside her ancient blood, there was a chance. Nathan just had to find it before time ran out. The alien princess was fading until my elixir brought her back to life. Part 2. Nathan worked through the night in a small room the Shelani had given him. It was meant for storage, not science. But he did not complain. He had work to do. He set up a communication link with the horizon's edge. Jake's face appeared on the screen, tired but ready. Tell me what you need, Jake said. Nathan read from his notes. Amino acids. Types 4, 7, and 12. Antioxidant compound C cellular stabilizers. Everything we have. Jake's eyebrows went up. That is half our medical supplies, Nate. What are you building over there? Something new, Nathan said. Something that might save a life? The princess? Yes. Jake was quiet for a moment. Then he nodded. I will have it sent over in 20 minutes. While Nathan waited, he studied the data from his scan. The princess's cells were dying because they could not repair themselves. In humans, this repair happened naturally. When cells got damaged, special systems would fix them or replace them. It was messy and imperfect, but it worked. The Solani had removed these systems from their species thousands of years ago. They thought they did not need them. Their technology could do the job better. Machines could keep their cells perfect forever, but the fading was old. Older than their machines. It attacked in ways their technology could not stop. And now, the princess was dying because her ancestors had thrown away the very thing that could save her. Except she still had it. Hidden in her blood. Waiting. The door opened. Drenbach entered without asking. He looked at Nathan's simple equipment with clear disgust. "The Emperor wishes to know how your work goes," the counselor said. "It goes," Nathan answered without stopping. "I need a few more hours. Hours she may not have." Nathan finally looked up. "Then let me work." Drenbach moved closer. His tall body blocked the light. "You understand, human, that if you fail, there will be consequences. If you harm her in any way, your ship and your crew will answer for it." Nathan put down his tools. He stood up to face the alien, even though Drenbach was almost 2 feet taller than him. "I understand," Nathan said, "but threatening me will not help her. Only this will." He pointed at his work. "So either help me or leave me alone." For a long moment, they stared at each other. Then Drenbach made that strange laughing sound again. "You Death World creatures," he said. "So full of fire. Even when you face death." "We have to be," Nathan said. "Fire is how we survive." The counselor left without another word. An hour later, the supplies arrived from the horizon's edge. Nathan worked faster now. He mixed compounds. He tested reactions. He adjusted formulas based on what he knew about Chelani biology. The elixir began to take shape. It was an amber liquid, thick and warm. It smelled like honey and copper. To human science, it was a complex mixture of repair compounds. To the Chelani, it would look like colored water dot, but Nathan believed it would work. It had to work. When the elixir was ready, he carried it to the medical room. Drenbach was there, along with several Chelani physicians. They watched Nathan like he was a dangerous animal. The princess looked worse than before. Her body flickered faster now. Parts of her were almost invisible. Her breathing was weak and slow. Nathan approached her bed. "Princess Velari, can you hear me?" Her eyes opened. They were the color of deep water, full of pain and exhaustion. But there was something else there too, curiosity. "The human?" she whispered. Her voice was like wind through leaves. "You came to save me. I came to try," Nathan said honestly. "Why?" she asked. "Your people gain nothing from this. We have given you nothing but distance and silence." Nathan looked at the vial in his hand. He thought about all the reasons he could give. Politics, reputation, the chance to prove humanity's worth. They were all true in a way, but they were not the real reason. "Because you are dying," Nathan said, "and I might be able to help. That is enough." Velari's eyes studied his face. She seemed to be looking for something. A lie, a hidden purpose. She found nothing but a tired human doctor holding a glass vial. "You are strange," she said softly. "Your whole species is strange." "We get that a lot," Nathan said. A small smile touched her fading lips. It was the first warmth he had seen from any Chelani. He was about to explain the elixir when the door burst open. Drenbach strode in, his face twisted with anger. "Stop," the counselor commanded. "I have contacted the medical council. They say introducing foreign compounds into the royal bloodline is forbidden. It could be considered an attack on the throne itself." The physicians stepped back. Fear showed on their faces. Nathan did not move. "An attack? I am trying to save her. With your primitive poison? No, I will not allow it." "Counselor," one of the physicians spoke up nervously. "If we do nothing, she will die within hours." "Then she dies with honor," Drenbach said coldly. "She dies Chelani, not infected with human filth." Nathan felt anger rise in his chest. But before he could speak, another voice filled the room. Enough. Everyone turned. In the doorway stood the Emperor himself. Thaloran was taller than any Shelani Nathan had seen. His skin glowed with soft light. His eyes were old and heavy with the weight of centuries. He wore no crown, no jewels. He did not need them. Power came off him like heat from a fire. He walked slowly to his daughter's bed. He looked down at her fading form. For a moment, the most powerful being in the sector was just a father watching his child die. Human, the Emperor said, without looking at Nathan. What is this thing you have made? Nathan held up the vial. It is a compound that will restart the repair systems in her cells. Systems her ancient bloodline still carries. It will not cure the fading, but it will help her body fight it. And if it fails? Nathan swallowed. Then she dies anyway. But at least we tried. The Emperor finally turned to face him. Those ancient eyes searched Nathan's soul. Why should I trust you? The Emperor asked. You are a young species. You know nothing of our science. Nothing of our ways. Nathan met his gaze. Because I have spent my whole life studying how living things survive. And right now, your daughter needs to survive. I can help. Please, let me help. Silence filled the room. The machines hummed. The princess flickered. Then a weak voice broke through. Father. Valari reached out with a trembling hand. Let him try. I would rather fade fighting than simply fade. The Emperor closed his eyes. When he opened them again, his decision was made. Do it, he said to Nathan. Save my daughter. The alien princess was fading until my elixir brought her back to life. Part 3. Nathan's hands were steady as he approached the princess. He had done difficult procedures before. He had worked on alien creatures that could kill him with a touch. But nothing felt as heavy as this moment. The Emperor stood near the door, watching without expression. Drenvok stayed in the corner, his face dark with anger. The physician stepped back, giving Nathan room. No one wanted to be close if this went wrong. Nathan sat beside Valari's bed. Her body flickered like a broken light. He could see the wall through her shoulder. She was running out of time. Princess, he said gently, I need you to drink this. All of it. She opened her eyes. They were dimmer than before, but still held that spark of life. Will it hurt? I do not know, Nathan admitted. It might feel strange. Your body has not used these systems in a very long time. Waking them up could be uncomfortable. Valari managed a weak nod. I have lived my whole life in comfort. Perhaps it is time to feel something different. Nathan helped her sit up slightly. Her body felt wrong in his hands, like holding water. He brought the vial to her lips. She drank. The amber liquid disappeared. For a long moment, nothing happened. The machines hummed. Everyone held their breath. Then Valari gasped. Her body shook. Colors moved under her skin like lightning in clouds. Her hands gripped the bed so hard that her fingers left marks. A sound came from her throat, somewhere between a scream and a song. What is happening? The Emperor demanded, stepping forward. Her cells are activating, Nathan said, watching his scanner. The repair systems are waking up. They are fighting the fading. She is in pain. Growth is always painful, Nathan said. Change is always hard. But she is strong. She will get through this. The shaking continued for what felt like hours. In truth, it was only minutes. Nathan stayed beside her, monitoring her vital signs, adjusting her position when she rolled. He talked to her softly, even though he did not know if she could hear. You are doing great, he said. Keep fighting. Your body knows what to do. Trust it. Slowly, the shaking stopped. Valari's breathing grew steady. Her body still flickered, but less than before. Much less. Nathan checked his scanner. The results made his heart jump. "It is working," he said. "Our cells are repairing themselves. The fading is slowing down." The Emperor moved closer. "Slowing down. Not stopping?" "Not yet. This is just the beginning. Her body needs time to build strength. But the process has started. She is fighting back." Drenvok stepped out of his corner. "This proves nothing. A temporary delay means nothing if she dies tomorrow." "She will not die tomorrow," Nathan said firmly. "Our body is remembering how to heal. Once that memory is fully awake, the fading will not be able to touch her." The counselor opened his mouth to argue, but the Emperor raised his hand. "Enough, Drenvok. The human has done what our physicians could not. We will wait. We will watch. And we will see." The next 6 hours were the longest of Nathan's life. He stayed beside Valari's bed, checking her condition every few minutes. The Solani physicians watched from a distance. They did not offer to help, but they did not try to stop him either. Their faces showed confusion more than anything. They did not understand what was happening. Nathan barely understood it himself. Human medicine was based on helping the body help itself. The Solani had forgotten that bodies could help themselves at all. They relied on machines for everything. When the machines failed, they had nothing left. But Valari's ancient blood remembered. Deep in her cells, hidden away for thousands of years, the old systems were waking up. They were crude. They were messy. They made mistakes and fixed them and made more mistakes. They were human, in a way. Or, at least, they worked like human systems did, and they were winning by the 4th hour. Valari's flickering had almost stopped. Her skin was solid again, though still pale. Her breathing was strong. She looked less like a dying ghost and more like a sleeping girl by the 6th hour. Something amazing happened. Nathan was checking his scanner when the numbers suddenly jumped. Valari's cell regeneration rate doubled, then tripled. Her body was not just fighting the fading now. It was growing stronger. "Impossible," one of the physicians whispered, looking at his own equipment. "Her cellular energy is higher than any recorded Chelani. She's becoming stronger than she was before the disease." Nathan smiled. He had seen this before, in humans who survived serious illness. The body learned from the fight. It came back tougher, harder to kill. The princess was not just healing. She was evolving. Drenvok stared at the readings with something like fear in his eyes. "What have you done to her?" "I woke her up," Nathan said. "I reminded her body of what it used to be, what all Shelani used to be, before they decided they did not need it anymore." The Emperor stepped forward. His ancient eyes were wet with tears he would not let fall. "She will live?" he asked. "She will live," Nathan confirmed. "And she will be stronger than ever." For the first time, the most powerful being in the sector showed weakness. His shoulders dropped. His hands shook. He looked at Nathan with something that might have been gratitude. "Human," the Emperor said, "you have saved my daughter. You have saved my bloodline. How can I ever repay this?" Nathan thought for a moment. He could ask for many things. Trade agreements, technology, political favors. Any of them would help humanity rise in the galactic order. But that was not why he came here. "Just remember us," Nathan said. "Remember that we came when you called. Remember that we helped when you needed it. That is enough." The Emperor nodded slowly. "I will remember. Dr. Nathan Cole. The Shelani Empire will remember." Behind them, Valari stirred. Her eyes opened, clear and bright for the first time in days. She looked around the room until her gaze found Nathan. "You saved me," she said. Her voice was stronger now, clearer. "Your body saved you," Nathan said. "I just gave it a push." She smiled. It was like watching a star come back to life. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank you for believing I could fight." Nathan smiled back. "That is what humans do. We believe in fighting, even when the odds are bad. Especially when the odds are bad." He did not know then that the hardest fight was still to come. That not everyone wanted the princess to live. That his small act of kindness had started something much larger than he imagined. But in that moment, watching Valari's light grow stronger, none of that mattered. He had done what he came to do. He had helped Dot. Everything else was a problem for tomorrow. The alien princess was fading until my elixir brought her back to life. Part 4. 3 days passed on the Shalani royal vessel. 3 days of rest and recovery. 3 days of watching Valari grow stronger with every hour. Nathan had planned to leave after the first day. His work was done. The princess was healing. But the emperor asked him to stay, and Nathan did not feel right about refusing Dot, so he stayed. And something unexpected happened. Valari wanted to talk to him. It started on the second day. She was sitting up in bed, eating her first solid food in weeks, when she called for him. Nathan entered her room expecting a medical question. Instead, she patted the chair beside her bed. "Sit with me," she said. "Tell me about your world." Nathan hesitated. "Are you sure? You should be resting." "I have rested enough. I nearly died. Now I want to learn." So Nathan sat, and he talked. He told her about Earth, about the blue oceans and green forests, about the mountains that touched the sky and the deserts that burned like fire. He told her about the animals that lived there, the predators that hunted, the prey that survived through speed and cleverness and luck. He told her about humans, about their history of war and peace, about their diseases that killed millions and the medicine that finally stopped them, about their mistakes and their triumphs, their cruelty and their kindness. Valari listened to everything. Her eyes never left his face. "Your world sounds terrible," she said finally. Nathan laughed. "It is, and it is also beautiful. The two things can be true at the same time. How did your species survive? Everything you described should have killed you 100 times over. We almost did die. Many times. But we kept getting back up. We learned from every disaster. We got stronger, smarter, tougher." Valari looked down at her hands. They were solid now, no trace of flickering. "We Shalani chose a different path. We removed the dangers from our lives. We engineered away disease. We ended war. We made ourselves perfect. And the fading?" Her face grew sad. "The fading comes from the time before perfection. From the ancient days when we were still wild and struggling. Our perfect bodies had no defense against it, because we threw those defenses away. Your ancient blood saved you," Nathan said gently. "The old ways are not always bad." Valari nodded slowly. "I see that now. My whole life, I was taught that the old ways were primitive, ugly, wrong. But those old ways are why I'm alive." She reached out and took Nathan's hand. Her skin was cool and smooth, like glass warmed by sunlight. "You showed me something important," she said. "Strength does not come from being perfect. It comes from surviving, from falling down and getting back up. Your people understand this. Mine forgot." Nathan felt his face grow warm. "We are just doing what we know. And that is exactly why you're valuable." Valari smiled. "You do not see yourselves the way we see you. To most of the galaxy, humans are primitive, dangerous, unpredictable. But I see something different now." "What do you see?" "Hope," she said simply. "You are the proof that the old ways still work. That struggle creates strength. That imperfection is not weakness." Their moment was broken by shouting in the hallway. Nathan stood quickly. Before he could reach the door, it burst open. Jake Brennan ran in, his face red with worry. "Nate, "We have a problem," Jake said between breaths. "A big one. What is happening?" "Ships. 6 of them. They just came out of faster-than-light travel about 10 minutes from here. Captain Morgan says they are Selani, but they are not responding to communication." Valaria's face went pale. "Isolationists? Who?" Nathan asked. "A faction within our empire," she explained quickly. "They believe we should have nothing to do with other species. They think contact with younger races will pollute our perfection. And they came here because of me. They came here because a human saved me. Because a primitive death world creature did what our advanced medicine could not. That story cannot be allowed to spread. It would shake the foundation of everything they believe." Nathan's stomach dropped. "So what do they want?" The answer came from Drenvok, who appeared in the doorway behind Jake. The counselor's face was complicated. Part anger, part fear, part something else. "They want you, Dr. Cole," Drenvok said. "They are demanding that you be handed over for trial. They say you contaminated the royal bloodline with foreign substances. They say you must answer for your crimes." "Crimes?" Nathan felt anger rise in his chest. "I saved her life. That is the crime, human. You should not have been able to do it. The fact that you did means our beliefs were wrong. And some people would rather kill the truth than accept it." Valari stood from her bed. She was still weak, but her eyes burned with fire. "I will not allow this. Nathan is under my protection." "With respect, Princess," Drenvok said, "you have no authority while the Emperor lives. And the Emperor must consider the political situation. Open conflict with the isolationists could tear the Empire apart, so he will sacrifice an innocent man to keep the peace." Drenvok did not answer. He did not need to. Nathan walked to the window. Outside, in the black space between stars, he could see the approaching ships. They were smaller than the royal vessel, but clearly armed for war. Weapons glowed on their hulls like angry eyes. Behind them, much smaller, was the horizon's edge, his home. His crew, his friends, they had come to support him. A tiny human ship against 6 Shelani warships. They had no chance. They knew they had no chance. And they came anyway. That was what humans did. Nathan turned back to face the room. His fear was still there, but something else was stronger now. Something hot and stubborn and very human. "Tell them I will come," he said. "Nate, no." Jake grabbed his arm. "You cannot just give yourself up." "I am not giving up," Nathan said calmly. "I am buying time. As long as they think they are getting what they want, they will not attack. That gives us time to figure out another way." Valari stepped forward. "I will not let you sacrifice yourself for me. Not after everything you have done." Nathan looked at her. This princess who was dying 3 days ago. This princess who was now standing strong because he refused to give up on her. "I am not sacrificing myself," he said. "I am trusting you. I am trusting that you will not let them win. That you will find a way to save me like I saved you." Tears formed in Valari's eyes. "You barely know me." "I know enough," Nathan said. "I know you are a fighter. I saw it when you were fading. I see it now. That is enough." He walked toward the door. Jake blocked his path. "Nate, please. Think about this." Nathan put his hand on his friend's shoulder. "I have thought about it. This is the right thing to do. Trust me." Jake's face twisted with pain. But finally, he stepped aside. Nathan walked out of the room without looking back. He did not know what waited for him on those ships. He did not know if he would survive the next hour, but he knew one thing for certain. He was not alone. He was never alone. Even in the darkest space, surrounded by enemies, humans stood together, and Valari would not let him down. The alien princess was fading until my elixir brought her back to life. Part 5. Nathan stood in the airlock. waiting for the isolationist shuttle to arrive. His heart pounded in his chest, but his face showed nothing. He had learned long ago that fear was natural. Showing fear was a choice thought behind him. The royal vessel hummed with tension. Every Shelani on board knew what was happening. Every human on the horizon's edge knew too. The communication channels were silent, but the waiting was loud. The shuttle connected with a soft thump. The door slid open. 2 Shelani soldiers stepped through, their weapons raised. Behind them came a tall figure in black robes. "I am Commander Veltrix," the figure said. "You are the human who contaminated our princess." Nathan kept his voice steady. "I am Dr. Nathan Cole. I am the human who saved your princess." Veltrix's eyes narrowed. "We shall see what the tribunal decides. Come with us. Resist, and your ship will be destroyed." Nathan nodded. He let the soldiers take his arms. He let them lead him onto their shuttle. The door closed behind him, cutting him off from everything he knew. The flight to the isolationist flagship took only minutes. Nathan spent those minutes thinking about his crew, his friends, the princes he had saved. He hoped they were safe. He hoped they stayed safe, no matter what happened to him. The flagship was different from the royal vessel. Colder, harder. The walls were metal, not living tissue. The lights were harsh and white. This was a ship built for war, not beauty. They brought him to a large chamber. It looked like a courtroom. Rows of Selani sat in raised seats, looking down at a central platform. Nathan was pushed onto that platform, alone under the cold lights. "Humans," a voice boomed. An old Shelani stood at the highest seat. His skin was almost white, his eyes like black holes. The species barely out of their caves. Yet they dared to touch our royal blood. Nathan said nothing. He knew this game. They wanted him to be afraid. They wanted him to beg. He would not give them that. "You used primitive substances on the heir to our empire," the old Selani continued. "You violated laws that existed before your ancestors learned to walk upright. How do you answer?" Nathan looked up at his accusers. Dozens of ancient faces stared back. They saw a small creature, a pest, something to be crushed and forgotten. They were wrong. "I answer that I saved a life," Nathan said clearly. "I answer that your princess was dying, and your medicine could not help her. I answer that I did what any healer would do. I tried. You contaminated her blood with alien filth. I gave her cells the tools they needed to save themselves. Tools your species threw away long ago because you thought you did not need them. But you were wrong, and now you are angry because a human proved it." Silence fell over the chamber. Nathan could feel their hatred like heat from a furnace. But he did not look away. "You will be executed," the old Chelani said coldly. "Your body will be burned. Your name will be forgotten. This is the fate of those who challenge Shelani perfection." "Then get on with it," Nathan said. "But know this. My crew is out there. My people are watching. And every species in this sector will hear about what you did here today. You can kill me, but you cannot kill the truth." The old Shelani raised his hand to give the order, and then everything changed. The doors of the chamber burst open. Valari walked through, straight and tall, glowing with health and power. Behind her came the emperor himself, surrounded by royal guards. "This tribunal is over," Valari announced. Her voice rang like a bell in the silent room. The old Shelani sputtered. "Princess, you have no authority here. This is an isolationist matter. I have every authority." Valari climbed onto the platform beside Nathan. "This man saved my life. He did what no Shelani could do. And you want to execute him for it? He violated our laws. Then your laws are wrong." Valari turned to face the assembled isolationists. Her eyes blazed with fire that had nothing to do with the fading. "Look at me. Look at how strong I am. 3 days ago, I was dying. Our perfect medicine could not help me. Our advanced technology could not save me. But a human could. A human did. She pointed at Nathan. This man used ancient methods. Primitive methods. The same methods our ancestors used before they decided they were too good for struggle. He reminded my body how to fight. And because of him, I am stronger now than I have ever been. The Emperor stepped forward. His presence silenced every whisper. I have made a decision, the Emperor said. Dr. Nathan Cole is hereby named a friend of the throne. Any attack on him is an attack on the royal family itself. Any harm done to him will be answered with the full force of the Empire. The old Shelani's face twisted with rage. You would protect a human over your own people? I would protect someone who saved my daughter over those who would have let her die. The Emperor's voice was like ice. You claim to love our perfection. But what is perfection worth if it cannot survive? What is advancement worth if it makes us weaker? He gestured at Velari. Look at my daughter. She carries ancient blood. Imperfect blood. And that imperfection is what saved her. Perhaps our ancestors knew something we have forgotten. Perhaps struggle is not our enemy. Perhaps it is our teacher. The isolationists had no answer. They sat in their high seats, faces pale with shock and anger. Their beliefs had been shattered in front of their eyes. Nathan felt a hand on his shoulder. Velari smiled at him. Thank you for trusting me, she said quietly. I told you I would not let them win. I never doubted you, Nathan replied. The Emperor approached them both. For a long moment, he simply looked at Nathan. Then, slowly, the ancient ruler bowed his head. You have taught us something valuable, Dr. Cole, the Emperor said. Something we had forgotten. We will not forget again. Later, Nathan stood in the shuttle bay, ready to return to the horizon's edge. Velari walked with him. This is not goodbye, she said. I am sending a message to your government. A formal invitation. We want humans to establish an embassy in our empire. Nathan felt his heart skip. An embassy? That has never happened before. Exactly. It is time for something new. Time to learn from other species instead of looking down on them. She smiled. And I will need someone to teach me. Someone who understands the old ways. The human ways. Are you asking me to come back? I am asking you to visit. Whenever you can. We have much to discuss. Her eyes sparkled. And I want to hear more stories about your death world. Nathan laughed. I think that can be arranged. He stepped onto the shuttle. Jake was waiting inside, grinning like an idiot. So, Jake said, you saved a princess, stood up to a tribunal, and got humanity its first alien embassy. Not bad for a week's work. Nathan shook his head. I just did what seemed right. The rest happened on its own. That is what you always say. Jake clapped him on the back. Come on, hero. Let us go home. As the shuttle lifted off, Nathan looked out the window. The Solani ships were pulling back. The horizon's edge floated peacefully in the void. And somewhere behind him, a princess who had been fading now burned brighter than ever. He had come here to help one dying girl. He left having changed the galaxy. That was the human way. Small acts of kindness creating waves that never stopped spreading. Nathan smiled and closed. His eyes dot. It was going to be an interesting future.